Hello and welcome back to another Mail Day video, and this feels like a very strange one to me because I'm filming it before work, and I'm not a morning person, I'm not an early afternoon person, I work nights, so but I just couldn't resist quickly filming this, and I feel kind of bad because I feel like I could probably, depending on what's in this package, I could probably talk for a very long time. But I need to limit myself to about 20 minutes, which for me is quite a task. But yeah, this arrived where I asked to have it sent. I went and picked it up. I brought it back here with about half an hour to spare before I have to leave for work. This is from I'll just show you the package. There you go. It's a big, long, intriguing mystery package. I know one thing that's in there, and I'm very excited about that and very grateful for that. And this is from a longtime viewer and Patreon supporter, Christian, who he asked me if I wanted this particular Blu-ray, and you know, to me it was like an expensive box set thing, and I was like, are you sure? And he assured me he had all the same films in another box set, and that he has a big collection and many doubles, and asked if I wanted, you know, to kind of have a few sent to me. So I kind of ummed and ahed about it for like a couple of months, and then finally kind of agreed, and he sent it over. And so I'm really intrigued to see what's in here, because it feels like there's more than just a couple of films. So I've already opened it. I won't let the addresses get shown, but there we go. It's from Germany as well, so it took quite a while to get here, but not as long as I thought it would, actually. So this is, oh, okay, I did see this when I pre-opened the package, but I didn't actually look at what it was exactly. So I've got some bubble wrap in here. I'm assuming this is, yeah, this is German candy, I guess you would call it, which is very nice. I won't be able to have it anytime soon, but what's the date on these? Okay, March 2021. By that point, my teeth should be sorted out, and if they're not, then fuck my life, I guess. Okay, so we have Lindt Cookies and Cream. Very cool. And another from the same brand, Crunchy Nougat. Nougat? How do people pronounce that? I very rarely say that word, so anyway, that's very cool. And it seemed to serve as like a kind of a convenient buffer to kind of keep everything in place. So either way, that's cool, thank you. And oh, is this a it is a note. Okay, we actually have a note as well. Howdy, Luke. As talked on Patreon, please find attached a few doubles from my own collection. Hope you can use and enjoy these movies. Keep up your passion for cinema and your awesome YouTube channel. Thank you. Greetings from Germany, and best wishes for you, Connie, and the future of your channel, Christian. Thank you. That's really cool, man. It's a Jim Morrison little postcard there. I will absolutely keep that. That's really cool. And oh, okay. I've seen the first thing. That's a surprise. Oh man. Okay, awesome. All right. I was not expecting this in the slightest. This is a 4K Blu-ray, and it is The Last Jedi. I mean, I already have it, but it's my favorite film of all time, so I will keep this absolutely in my collection. It's got a nice slipcover, different artwork. It's 4K, and the thing is, I have the 4K disc, but it's inside this big, I actually have it right here. It's in this big kind of sleeve edition thing, so to get it out is kind of tricky. So from a purely lazy standpoint, this will be great just to quickly grab the 4K whenever I want to watch it. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sure you probably know, I'm sure he knows this is pretty much my favorite film, so very cool. Ah, right, is this going to be, no, okay. All right. We have another 4K film, and it's another Star Wars movie. It is Solo. I was just talking / debating / arguing with Zarin Isaac about this film on Twitter. God, I love this film, I really do, but I think that Donald Glover is nowhere near as much of a convincing Lando as Alden Ehrenreich is a convincing young Han Solo. I like Donald Glover, but I just think he was overhyped a little bit as Lando. People say he was perfect. I didn't think so, and Zarin Isaac was really angry at me over that, and he seemed to take my my small minor issues with his performance as hatred, which wasn't really the case. But wow, this is really interesting because they're doing the steelbooks of these in 4K, And I was thinking to myself, there's just no way that I could collect all of those. It's so expensive. But this is a film that I would love to see in 4K. It's got some really... I mean, it's one of those films that actually got a lot of criticism for the dark cinematography, but I think that worked out pretty well. And there's some really great visual moments, especially the Kessel Run and everything. And this has got a nice embossed slipcover. Very, very cool. I love this film. I love Star Wars. So this is awesome. Thanks. Ah, very intriguing. Curiouser and curiouser. Me and Connie were, well, we weren't thinking about watching it, but Connie suggested watching this. It was on Netflix the other night. And I do feel like revisiting it, and it is a film I absolutely want in my collection. And it is a classic, in my opinion, Misery, with James Caan and Kathy Bates. Really nice steelbook edition. I think I've looked at this before, like years ago, and considered buying it. Let's just quickly have a look at the rest of the artwork there, because this is a great film. I love the story and the suspense of it. And if you haven't seen Misery, it's a really, really well, tense, as I said, film about this writer who gets kidnapped by one of his crazy super fans, played by Kathy Bates, and she basically imprisons him in her house, and it's just a really intriguing setup, and it just leads to a brilliant film, I think. Wow, this is really nice. You've got the kind of the keys of the typewriter there. Oh, nice back image as well, with him in the wheelchair. She effectively handicaps him in the film. Spoilers. Yeah, really cool. That's awesome. A nice steelbook edition. I love this film. Maybe we'll watch it pretty soon. Huh. I have never heard of this. This is a Scream Factory Blu-ray. And it stars the one and only Peter Weller, RoboCop himself. And the film is Screamers. Never heard of it. Very interesting. An apocalyptic science fiction epic. I'm in. When was this released? That's the question. 1996. I've been on a bit of a kick of 90s movies recently, so maybe this will be like an interesting kind of wild card to throw in there. I've been revisiting a lot of my favorite films from the 90s recently without really meaning to. What time are we on here, just to quickly see? Okay, I got another like 10 minutes or so. So, his state-of-the-art weaponry are known as Screamers, man-made killing devices programmed to eliminate all enemy life forms. All right, I'm just going to just dive into this one without really looking into it too much. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, this is a film, and that was one thing, because he said he was sending me a few films, and I wasn't sure whether they'd be films I already owned, or films I had seen, films I hadn't seen, films I was interested in seeing, films I'd never even heard of, etc. So, alright, another film I kind of want to see but have never seen, actually. That's interesting. So this is Tron. And another Zaran Isaac story. I was watching one of his Twitch streams and people were talking about Tron, and I said, I've only seen Tron Legacy. And the reaction in the chat and from Sean himself was quite shocked that I hadn't seen the original Tron but had seen the first one. So yeah, it's a classic science fiction film, and it's one I've never seen. So this is, and I've seen the sequel, which I really like. So this is a film I definitely have to see. And yeah, really cool. That's really interesting. This is one of those ones that I probably would have never got around to buying myself, I think. But it's a film I should see at the same time. So that's really cool. Thanks. Huh. Alright. This is another film I've been wanting to see for a long time. Probably not going to be on the level as Tron, I guess. Well, maybe it'll be a little bit better visually. But it's a film that has gotten a lot of, I was going to say diversive. See, this is what happens when I make a video, you know, maybe an hour or so after I've woken up. It was very divisive when it came out. And I know some people who really like this, actually. Ryan Chatway really likes this film. And I think what put me off was just that it is 2.5 hours long. And again, it's one of those films I probably never would have got around to buying myself. It's The Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer. It looked really fun and visual from the trailers, but the reviews, it just got trash. People just said it was dog shit. So yeah, it is tricky. I try not to like follow the reviews or things like that, or the general perception, but sometimes when a film gets that quantity of bad reviews, you tend to kind of not avoid them, but you don't really put it at the top of your priority list when there's so many other films that you could watch. This was one of them, so yeah, this is one I really would like to watch. I did see it was on, is it on Disney? It must be on Disney Plus. I think I saw it on Disney Plus and thought, oh, I'll watch that sometime, but Blu-ray, even better. Ah, this is like a, this whole package has been like, oh, that. All right, this is, okay, cool. This one's intrigued me, but again, it's one of those films I would have never bought, I don't think. So I remember when I first started reviewing Arrow Video titles for Arrow Video, they'd send me a few things here and there, and one of them was Brian De Palma's Sisters, and they'd released quite a few of his films. There's Dress to Kill, I think, which is probably on my shelf somewhere. Yeah, Dress to Kill. They later released Raising Cain, which I love. And I really like Brian De Palma. He has such an interesting filmography, from stuff like The Untouchables to Mission Impossible, and then his earlier stuff, and the suspenseful kind of Hitchcock-esque thrillers that he did. And this one just seems like another wildly off-the-wall, what the fuck is this film, from 1974, the Arrow Video release of Phantom of the Paradise. I'm intrigued by this one. I really am. And like I said, I'm just repeating myself, broken record, I never would have bought it myself. So that's really cool. And I love Brian De Palma, so I should do like a little Brian De Palma season. Because I have quite a few of his films now that I own that I haven't seen, like Body Double, Dress to Kill. But yeah, very nice. Lovely. What a nice one to round this off with. Before we get to the main event, which I can see sitting there in the box. We have a Masters of Cinema release, which I don't have. Like, I have like almost 200 of these, and you managed to kind of send one that I that I haven't got already. So this is great. This is just another addition to my huge Masters of Cinema collection. It is The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. This is spine number 182. Who directed this? It is Billy Wilder. I had a feeling it was a director I wouldn't expect when I first looked into this when they were announcing it. I was like, oh, it's a Billy Wilder film. So, yeah, let's see. Written by Billy Wilder and produced and directed by Billy Wilder. It's a 50-minute presentation of the film's deleted scenes or sequences using script excerpts, production stills, and surviving film footage. Very interesting. There's a lot of stuff in here. Very cool. So, yeah, there we go. Don't know too much about this one. I like Sherlock Holmes and my knowledge of him and that character and that world and the various adaptations are very limited, but yeah, another great one to add to my Masters of Cinema collection. And finally, we have the one that he said to me, would you like me to send you this? And wow, this is really cool. I'd first heard about this filmmaker. I don't know if he is a filmmaker, actually, if he made his own films or anything, but I first became aware of this film star, I could say, about 10 years ago, I think. And it was in HMV, my local HMV in Cardiff. And there's this guy who I kind of see there occasionally, maybe once or twice a year. And he's a real character. This is a customer. And he's a short, kind of older gentleman who's got a very kind of cartoony voice. And anyone who goes to HMV in Cardiff with any degree of regularity will probably have seen him or come across him or heard him at some point. And he's a big cinephile. He's always talking about movies. He's always talking the ears off of the people who work there. And it's interesting for me to see, like, okay, because sometimes the person who's, like, stuck in the shelves or whatever, they're listening to him, but they're trying to get on with their work. And you can tell they're really just, like, not interested in all the stuff he's waffling on and on about. Sometimes they're a bit more receptive. Sometimes they stop and chat to him. I guess it depends on how much work you've got to do. But he always has that air of kind of superiority, which is kind of endearing to me, really, the way that he does it. He's always picking stuff off the shelf, saying, "No, you know that this was the first. This was actually the." He's always like, And one of the things that he did was he pointed to a Blu-ray of a Jacques Tati film. He's like, "Now you know that this is where Mr. Bean came from, really, originally." So that was and I was like near him when he said that, and I looked at the Blu-ray. That was my first awareness of Jacques Tati in general, and I don't know whether going into Jacques Tati with the notion that it's going to be some kind of Mr. Bean, character, or that it's going to be this, for all intents and purposes, silent character who's a very universal character. I have no idea. But I do know that as far as the world of comedy and comedy films, Jacques Tati is considered one of those kind of classic figures. And this compiles everything he ever did, as far as I'm concerned. It is the Criterion Collection box set, the complete Jacques Tati. Very, very cool. Nice thick set. Now this is one I've wanted for years and years because I love complete director collections. And again, I don't know if he directed his own films, but I like complete collections that kind of compile a big chunk of a filmography of a star or a filmmaker or whatever. But this was one that's, it's one of those flimsy packaging Criterion, so I was always hesitant about ordering it. A couple of times I've asked friends in America to try and find this for me in a Barnes & Noble. They have, and it's been dinged up and crushed and everything. This one's in pretty damn good condition. Brand new, sealed. I guess that Christian had a different version of his films in a different box set. So yeah, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 feature films, and a separate disc with some of his short films, maybe all of his short films, I'm not entirely sure. And you get them all there in different separate releases. How much time have I got? I can probably quickly have a quick look at this and open it up, but man, thank you so much. This is something, wow, everything that you sent me, you could have sold for a pretty damn good price. So, I mean, I really appreciate it. It's really cool, especially at this point where I'm, you know, going through a bit of a down period generally. So this kind of thing really lifts my spirits, and it's very nice and appreciated. And, you know, you support me on Patreon, which alone is, you know, hugely appreciated. And I can say the same for anyone who supports me on Patreon. But this just goes above and beyond, and it's just really nice, and I really do appreciate it a lot. So let's open this up and have a quick look on the inside of the individual. It's a nice, like, it really feels nice and textured. It feels very flimsy though, so that's the thing. You got to be really careful with these sets. And yeah, so okay, we have the Tati shorts. We have Parade, and what these look like on the inside. I'm assuming it's yeah, it's more of a kind of minimal. So you got the color and then the disc. I need to find somewhere to put these without crushing the box. You have Traffic, and I know that 3 of these films were in the book 1,000 More Movies You Must See Before You Die as well, including Playtime. That's the big one. That's considered like one of his like masterpieces, or the one that he put a lot of time and money into, I think. I remember reading he built like a huge set for that film. Mon Oncle. I'm assuming this is his character, Monsieur Hulot, his holiday. I really like the super minimal art style on these. And then, I don't know how to pronounce this one, but I'm assuming this is his first film. Yes, his enchanting debut feature from 1949. Alright, it says director Jacques Tati's 1964 re-edit of the film. So I'm assuming he did direct his films then. I hope so, because that kind of, it gives you I don't know, I like the authorship of that, like when you look at Buster Keaton and all the things that he did. But it was very much his own stuff, you know. He had authorship over the part that he was playing in the movie that he was making. And then of course you get a booklet inside as well, with lots of writing, I'm assuming, on all of the films. The what would you even call it, the credits list and the casting credits of all the films. Very, very cool. So that's, yeah, this is an awesome package. Again, thank you so much, really appreciate it. Complete Jacques Tati, very excited. I'll try and get into that pretty soon. And that's about it. Again, I can only just keep thanking you. It's really cool. A lot of great stuff in here, and stuff I'm looking forward to checking out. Stuff I'm looking forward to revisiting. Just perfect. So thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. Leave your thoughts down below on any of the Blu-rays that I've shown. If you've seen them, what you thought. Like, you know, how does Tron hold up? You know, has anyone seen Screamers? And how is Phantom of the Paradise? I'd be intrigued to hear some people's thoughts on that. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to run off to work now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans and calling into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.